A great education and access to resources that set up a child for success. Two things Professor Tom Shields with the University of Richmond says should be guaranteed no matter your race or your address.
In education, segregation is deeply part of the system that we all live in.
But Shields says, unfortunately, based on a report conducted by the University of Richmond, Virginia Commonwealth University, and several local nonprofits and housing organizations, where a person lives in Central Virginia still impacts the educational resources a student has.
What our report specifically looks at is the intertwined nature of housing and education. A lot of people think these are separate issues, separate policies, but in terms of where people live really matters. And so
the Can We Learn and Live Together 2.0 report examines the issue of housing and education segregation in the Metro Richmond area.
where you live and then where you go to school matters in terms of resources, quality teachers. Where will people be in the future, and what are their opportunities in terms of having good life chances?
The report examines data from more than 100 schools locally.
Look at 8 jurisdictions across the Richmond area. At the school population by race, income, culture, language. Look at also housing variables, like if you have a housing choice voucher, if you have a low-income tax credit or other. And so all that is compiled into maps, and then also an analysis, and then some policy recommendations.
Shields says the report shows some areas are more separated by race now than compared to the 19th century, saying this directly correlates to education access.
Segregation that is very pernicious and prevalent across the Richmond area, as it is a lot of other jurisdictions. So we need to act, we need to do something. We need to look at zoning both in terms of school boundaries and with housing. These are things that policymakers can do.
Hoping to share this information with the people it directly impacts, a community conversation is being held Thursday at the University of Richmond.
We need to make sure that we break this segregation up, look at these barriers that are to access to and outcomes, and make sure that students have a fair chance.
Tonight's community conversation is free and open to the public, and it's happening from 6 to 8 p.m. at the building right behind me. That's the University of Richmond's Quealy Center for Admission and Career Services. Of course, we'll have all those details listed on our website, WTVR.com. For CBS 6, I'm Joy Foltz.